It's the Division II Northwest Ohio Regional Championship as this afternoon the Gilmour Academy takes on the Roughriders of St. Mary's. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Lynn Passett. I'm joined by Brian Harder, and this could be a very entertaining ball game. And if nothing else, we're going to see some fireworks from an Ohio State University commit out of St. Mary's, Austin Parks, who stands 6'9".
That's right. He's really the centerpiece of the offense and the defense for St. Mary's Memorial, and he's verbally committed to Ohio State. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Everything that I've read and seen about him, he is a very special guy, and the thing that I appreciate about him, he's part of a dying breed. He's a true post player. And high school players today, especially the big guys, they want to step out in the perimeter. They want to shoot threes. He's comfortable with just back to the basket.
The winner of this one has a chance to go to Dayton and the Final Four in Division II. And we'll be back with more of our pregame right after this.
It's Freedom Fest Ohio, featuring Justin Moore,
You look like I need a drink right now.
Crowder,
God Almighty, I hope you'll find
Rodney Atkins,
makes me wanna take a back road.
Austin French, and more.
Somebody else.
Friday and Saturday, July 1st and 2nd, Morrow County Fairgrounds in Mount Gilead, Ohio. For tickets and more info, visit freedomfestohio.com.
Nervous? Oh, Blaze. Brings back so many good memories.
Remember our road trip in '97?
Our first real heart-to-heart.
I've never seen any of your movies! Not even the ones we were together! Hey, do you remember when that stalker kidnapped us?
Yes!
Blaze was there.
Blaze. Do you have barbecue or cheddar jalapeno?
Ooh. Oh, remember when we stumbled into that turf war? Remember when you bought your first house?
Hi, I'm Seth.
Those were good times.
They were golden.
You ready?
Seth, do you?
I do.
And Janet, do you?
That's a yes.
I love this lady!
Albert Sporting Goods is here to outfit your team, both on and off the field. Since 1980, Albert Sporting Goods has serviced schools, clubs, and businesses throughout Ohio. For all of your uniform, spirit wear, and equipment needs, make it Albert Sporting Goods. Order online now at albertsportinggoods.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
are back at the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University for today's Division II Regional Championship between St. Mary's and the Gilmour Academy. And every year there's a team that seems to sneak its way into the regionals with a record that doesn't necessarily impress. This year it's St. Mary's at 18-7. Gilmour comes in at 21-5. Let's take a look at the Gilmour Academy a little bit closer. They are coached by head coach Dan DeCrane, who is in his 4th season, and they are now making their 2nd straight Elite 8 appearance.
Yes, they also, when you look at their history, this is not a team that is rich in tournament history, and Dan DeCrane in his 4th season is trying to change that. They made it to the state title game back in 1992, and they lost. This is their 3rd trip to the Elite 8. Now, how is this for playing at the right time? You look at what this team did last year. They finished 11-10. They were 7-9 in the regular season, and then they kicked it into high gear, and they went to the Elite 8 last year. And so this year, they're trying to, they obviously had a little bit better regular season, and they're trying to continue now as they try to get back to Dayton for the 2nd year in a row.
They are led, as we look at the spotlight, by Ryan Mueller. He averages 17 points, 10 rebounds a ball game. He stands at 6'7", and he's going to have his hands full defensively because he'll most likely be matching up with Austin Parks.
Austin Parks is a guy who's verbally committed to Ohio State University. He is a guy that creates a lot of mismatches. He sometimes faces double and triple teams. He's very comfortable passing the basketball, so it'll be interesting to see how that offense runs through him.
And when you look at the keys to the game tonight, when we look at the Lancers of the Gilmour Academy, they have one main problem that they have to solve. You kind of touched on it, that being Austin Parks. But now we're going to, here we go, with the keys to the game. They need to attack a very good 2-3 zone defense from St. Mary's.
You look at the front line for Gilmour Academy, or for St. Mary's, excuse me. They go 6'6", 6'6", and 6'10". So they prefer to play zone, and they take away anything on the inside, and they want to force you to play on the perimeter.
Now we'll take a real quick look now at the St. Mary's Roughriders, who got themselves here from the WBL. They came in 3rd in the WBL. We actually saw the WBL represented by Ottawa Glandorf in our first game. They finished at 14-7, not really impressive, but they are turning it on at the right time.
They defeated Huron 40-29 to get here. That was a team that we saw in the district semifinal, and they're a team that has a couple of very good offensive players, so it's the defense for St. Mary's that is really stepping up now for Dan Hegemeyer, who came out of retirement to come back and coach at St. Mary's. They just can't get it out of his blood.
And if you look at the keys to the game for this one, real quickly, we'll look at those for St. Mary's. They need to play in the parks. That means Austin Parks and his 20 points a ball game, very much a key.
Also, they have to make sure that they keep track of where Mueller is at all times on the floor defensively, because if he gets hot shooting the basketball, it could be a long night for St. Mary's.
Well, the Gilmour Academy is actually from just south of Cleveland, a little better than a 2-hour drive, and that means fans didn't really come to support them. They have no student body here whatsoever when you compare it to St. Mary's. But I'm sure the Gilmour Academy knows what it is up against here this afternoon. They're about to move toward the playing of our national anthem. Well, the crowd noise will definitely be quickly noticed as far as the difference. Gilmour Academy with probably about a third of the fan base that St. Marys has here this afternoon, even though St. Marys had to come from the Grand Lake St. Marys area, which is just south of Salina, Ohio, so they're probably a good hour and a half away from Bowling Green. And when you look at the two head coaches here, we've got Dan DeCrane, as we saw in his fourth season at the Gilmour Academy, but St. Marys is in a little different situation where Dan Hegemeyer has been an institutional rock.
Yes, over 500 wins in his history and his career. He's a Hall of Famer. He was a guy who retired, and they were able to lure him back to come back here to guide this program. And evidently, he just did not get it out of his system and was able to come back and really kind of pick up where he left off, and he has them here knocking on the door trying to get to Dayton.
Well, we've talked about the matchups inside. Both of these two teams have plenty of height. Austin Parks at 6'9", almost 6'10" for St. Marys. But then when you look at the Gilmour Academy, they have also got some height as well. Here you can see Austin Parks, who is verbally committed to Ohio State. But when you look at Gilmour, they have 6'7", they have 6'7", and they have 6'3", so they are definitely going to be able to compete on the glass.
Yeah, Ryan Mueller is a guy that is really going to be counted on at both ends of the floor. He is their leading scorer. He averages almost 17 points a game, grabs 10 boards. Brandon Rose and Addissa Moulton also score 13 and 11 points respectively. And so offensively, it is going to be interesting to see how they go against a guy like Austin Parks and what he is able to create inside.
Getting the starting lineups introduced to us right now, and they do a great job here at Bowling Green as they dim the lights and put out the spotlights. And as you can see, they are right now introducing the St. Marys Roughriders.
You can't beat the environment of high school tournament basketball. And in the first game of our doubleheader tonight, Colonel Crawford taking on Ottawa Glandorf. This place was packed to the rafters. It was loud, and it was just an incredible environment. And it will be kind of a lot quieter in this second game as we look across and we see a lot of empty seats, and it's a long drive from Gates Mills. And so I'm assuming they're just pulling up a chair in their living room and they're watching us here on OH Report.
Well, what else could they be doing? I mean, that's the only thing you have to do.
As Brian says, you can just get your popcorn ready and sit down, and we will have good high school tournament basketball for you. The winner of this game will take on either Heath or Waverly. That game will be on Friday, March 18th at the University of Dayton. The tip-off is set for 8:30. So as the field gets smaller, the games get bigger.
Here's your starting lineups. You'll see Steininger, Reinecke, Turner, Angstman, and Parks for St. Marys. While for the Gilmour Academy, you're looking at Flaherty, Flowers, Mueller, Rose, and Moulton. And St. Marys in the blue uniforms will win the opening tip. And out front, this is Kyle Steininger.
By the way, we see the Academy coming out in full court pressure. And this is reminiscent of Ottawa Glandorf, applying a lot of pressure in your face in the half court.
Opening foul will go against the Gilmour Academy, and that will send to the free throw line the 6'9" junior who has verbally committed to play his basketball for Ohio State, and he sinks the opening free throw. It's going to be interesting to see who controls the boards in this ball game, as most of the postseason games that I have attended, those who rebound and win the rebounding advantage usually win the ball game.
There you see St. Marys coming out in their 3-2 zone, but Gilmour Academy does a nice job of getting underneath it as Ryan Mueller gets in the scoring column.
Lob pass inside to Mueller. Both teams are knotted up at 2-2. And that pressure from the Gilmour Academy is really all over the St. Marys guard, Steinecke. This is Gavin Reinecke in the corner. Steininger dumps it off, and the shot is a little bit too strong for Jace Turner, and here comes the Gilmour Academy. This is the 2-1-2 or 2-3 zone that St. Mary's likes to employ, and defensively they do a good job. They are holding their opponents to just 42 points a ball game.
Well, and if Gilmour Academy can do that, it's going to be a long afternoon for St. Marys Memorial.
Long three ball is good, and Gilmour has a 5-2 lead over the Roughriders. Very stiff man-to-man defense as they lob it into Parks. They're content to play him one-on-one. Against Huron, we saw him getting double-teamed quite a bit.
There he follows his own miss, and he'll go to the free throw line for the second time in the quarter.
Looks like that foul's going to go against number 13, Ryan Mueller. That'll be his first and the team's second.
Parks is originally from Texas. Moved to Ohio when he was 2, so he wasn't born a Buckeye.
Misses the first. Second one does go down, and Parks has all 3 of the Rough Rider points. It's 5-3. Gilmour Academy on top. 2 minutes have gone by here in the opening quarter. You can see that 2-3 zone still being employed by St. Marys Memorial.
In this era of three-pointers and motion offense, you don't see a lot of teams comfortable playing against a zone. There they did a nice job of finding a seam and getting inside.
Flowers drove and missed. They couldn't get the putback, and now the Rough Riders take it quickly the other direction.
Brandon Rose doing a nice job defensively, coming over to help.
Lob pass to Parks right inside the paint. Little jump hook is good, and it's basically Parks 5 and Gilmour Academy 5.
I think we'll see that a lot, especially when they inbound under their own basket. Just get it into the big guy and watch him go to work.
This is Flowers out top for Gilmour. Jumper from the far corner. It's a 3, and it's good. That is Brandon Rose. A pair of 3-pointers sparking Gilmour out to an 8-5 lead, and now they continue to put the pressure on as Steininger out front needs someone to help him. They get it to Parks. Working against his man, kicks it out far side. Down low again to Parks. Spin move off glass. He's got it.
Well, he makes it look very easy, and if that continues, they're going to have to find some way to help, either double down from one of the guards or one of the wings.
Or they might even go to a zone themselves. Flowers out top. Now Flowers on the near wing. No one is even posting up. It is all 5 circling the 3-point arc. Lucky roll that time for Adissa Moulton. He's got his second 3-pointer. And the lead is 11-7.
Well, so far, Gilmour Academy is doing a very good job offensively against this zone because the perimeter shots are falling.
They're trading 3s for 2s. And now a turnover against St. Marys Memorial. Long outside jumper. Mueller drops it home.
Well, and another 3.
That's 4 of their 5 field goals coming from behind the arc.
They are 4 for 4 from behind the 3-point line. And I tell you what, for a guy who has coached as long as Dan Hegemeyer has, he's still got that fire in his belly on the sideline.
He certainly does. He's giving it to his team as they come off into the huddle, down 14-7. And really, for me, what I'm seeing is no attempt to even look inside for the Gilmour Academy. They're content to shoot the 3s as long as they're making them.
Yeah, right now they really don't have to do that. And what Hegemeyer is probably telling them is, look, we cannot ignore shooters in the corner. You've got to make sure that's part of the problem of playing a zone is sometimes the guys, especially on the bottom part, can get a little lazy. They've got to make sure they get out and get a hand up and contest a jumper in the corner because they're getting wide open looks and they're knocking them down.
Right now, Austin Parks has all 8, actually 7 points for St. Marys Memorial, and you have to think that maybe head coach Dan DeCrane has said if he gets 30, so be it. Don't let anyone else beat us.
There he does a nice job passing the ball and a nice job on the offensive glass for Jace Turner.
Yep, Turner right there, Johnny on the spot to get that offensive rebound. He'll stick it back home, and it's 14-9, and St. Mary's needed that to stop the bleeding. And again, we see all of the white shirts on the perimeter other than one right now. Nathan Newtbar has entered the ball game, and he is wearing number 5. He's got the ball now. Seen a couple of substitutions for the Gilmour Academy on that last time out as Flowers penetrates and kicks. Shot won't fall, but a nice rebound by Mueller. Shot over top of Parks, and it comes down to the Roughriders.
St. Mary's did a lot better job on that possession of covering the perimeter jumper. Gave up an offensive rebound, but they're contesting the shot a lot better than they did earlier in the quarter.
Parks against Newtbar just lost control, and it went off of his own leg out of bounds. Second turnover against St. Mary's. $14-9, a 5-point lead as we hit the 2-minute mark remaining here in the opening quarter from the Stroh Center in Bowling Green. The winner advancing to the state Final Four in Dayton next weekend. Rose has been hot. They'll get him the ball on the kick out. He pops another 3, and he's got it. 5 out of 6 field goals have been 3-pointers for the Gilmour Academy, and they lead 17-9 as they stretch the lead out to 8.
That was the ideal pass, too, coming from inside to out. Catching it right in the pocket, able to take it up strong.
Parks a little quick on his shot. Mueller was there to grab the rebound for the Gilmour Academy. And they've got numbers, but will decide to hold things up. Flowers to Newtbar. Rose and Flowers both have a 3. Rose is thinking about another one. This time they'll kick it into the corner. Shot is off the mark by Ryan Mueller, the 6'7" senior. Big trip down the floor for St. Mary's as we're inside of a minute now. They really need to cash in here. Long 3 ball off the mark. Rebound right there, Johnny on the spot is Jace Turner. As you can see, we're down to 20 seconds now. Nice flash to the basket, and a foul will be called from behind. Addissa Moulton will be whistled for his first personal foul.
Really impressed with Parks. He gets pushed off the block, but he does a very good job of seeing the cutter and delivering a nice bounce pass. A lot of times guys will like to give that little shove pass, and it's hard to handle. Delivered a perfect bounce pass.
Lob pass to Parks. Shot from the corner, no good. Kind of surprised to see St. Mary's not waste all of the clock to prevent the Gilmour Academy from scoring. Parks got a piece of that one, and now he'll come down with a settled rebound. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, a long 3, and it's good! Gavin Reineke rings the bell and throws it through the clown's mouth at the end of the first quarter. It's the Gilmour Academy 17, the Roughriders of
Albert Sporting Goods is here to outfit your team, both on and off the field. Since 1980, Albert Sporting Goods has serviced schools, clubs, and businesses throughout Ohio. For all of your uniform, spirit wear, and equipment needs, make it Albert Sporting Goods. Order online now at albertsportinggoods.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Regional Championship basketball here on the OH Report, being brought to you by Albert Sporting Goods of St. Mary's. Make sure you mention that you heard this ad on the OH Report for a $100 credit for any coach who will start from scratch his team order. So $100 credit if you mention you heard about Albert Sports on the OH Report. Long three, again good for the Gilmour Academy, who continues to light the rim on fire from three-point range. Brandon Rose has 3. The team has 6 3-pointers.
Rose off to a good start with 9. Have a foul at the other end of the floor.
4 fouls against the Gilmour Academy, none against St. Mary's as of yet. And something you mentioned, Brian, is the fact that Gilmour Academy is shooting from three-point range 86%.
Obviously, they're off to a very good start, and I mean, they would love to think they could keep that up. It'll be interesting to see how long they can keep hitting from the outside. You made a comment before this game about teams that come into these bigger arenas and the depth perception is sometimes hard for shooters to adjust to. Well, it's not a problem for Gilmour Academy.
So far it hasn't been. Flowers will make a nice dish off, and then the first foul of the ball game against St. Mary's will get whistled against Evan Angstman. He's a sophomore, was trailing the play. Nice dish by Flowers that time as well, as he was able to get it off to his teammate Adissa Moulton. Well, they can hit from 3, but they can't hit from 15 feet. Missing on their first free throw attempt.
Doing some research on the Gilmour Academy. Paul Dolan, the chairman of the Indians, is a graduate of the Gilmour Academy. And notice I said Indians.
Yes. We'll let it slide for about 2 games this year, and then you better get it in place.
Well, to me, they still play at Jacobs Field, so.
Nice turnaround jumper that time by Jace Turner, but it wouldn't fall, and the Gilmour Academy, holding a 9-point advantage, now has the basketball again. Moulton out top, wants to go to work. Stolen away. St. Mary's getting the first turnover of the ball game against the Gilmour Academy. Long jumper from the near side, and it's good.
St. Mary's starting to creep back into this a little bit, doing the job at both ends of the floor.
Braden Sullivan knocking down that 3 for St. Mary's. There's a good look at Austin Parks, who will be heading toward Columbus in 2 years. He's only a junior. 21-15, 6-point spread in favor of the Gilmour Academy. Nearly another steal, and it is made by St. Mary's.
Well, there are a couple Rough Riders battled for the basketball. They'll end up keeping it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dorjan Flowers makes anybody's life miserable who's got the basketball out front. He is out there like a thief in the night, waiting to pluck that ball away. Nice backdoor cut by the Rough Riders, and they miss the lay-in.
Again, another great pass from Parks, just unable to convert the layup.
Sullivan cashed in on his three-pointer and then missed the easy bunny shot. Remains a 6-point lead as we hit the 5.5-minute mark here in the first half. And there's Flowers putting the pressure on. Mueller really working hard down low on Parks, who fakes the pass, now kicks it out. Flowers really giving Gavin Reinecke a hard time out front. Parks not a real threat from much more than 15 feet, and he'll miss the shot off glass. Moulton, and he'll be fouled before the shot.
I'm going to guess that's going to be a part of his game that they're going to want to see developed before he gets to Columbus, is stepping out and taking that little short corner jumper.
Right
he
now
doesn't look comfortable facing the basket offensively.
You can tell right now he gives the pump fake, but nobody goes for it because they know from scouting reports he's not going to shoot it.
Right.
Flowers on the far wing. Still in a 2-3 zone is St. Mary's. Pass deflected out of bounds. It will stay on the near side with the Gilmour Academy.
Our producer getting nervous because all of our equipment is about 6 feet from the ball right now.
Well, Adam's a little temperamental anyhow to start with. So
that's what fatherhood will do to you, my friend.
Flowers will get it into Flaherty. He'll kick it outside to Rose, and he's fouled. St. Mary's didn't commit any fouls for most of that first quarter. Now they're starting to pile up. They've now reached 4.
The three-point shooting percentage for Gilmour Academy is down to a cool 67%.
As a team, they shot 37% from three-point range, so they are definitely doubling up on what they normally do. If you're a coach, you have to say to your guys, look, they can't keep shooting like this. Just keep working. Things will start to turn. Rose makes 1 out of 2. He now has 10 points. He's the first player to hit double figures here this afternoon. And the lead is 22-15 in favor of the Gilmour Academy.
A little full court pressure now by the Lancers, and St. Mary's does a very nice job of breaking the pressure, and they get an open look of their own that doesn't go.
Here come the Lancers, leading by 7, 4:20 to play second quarter. Flowers on the far wing. Double teamed and kicks it out to Flaherty, who gets rid of the basketball quickly to Flowers again. This is Addissa Moulton driving the key. Up and no good. Off balance shot wouldn't fall. St. Marys Memorial has had about 4 straight empty trips down the floor. They've really got to cash in here. Reinecke tried to feed the alley-oop to Parks, and he was taken out from under his own feet, and that'll be a foul.
Well, Flowers does a nice job of disrupting what would have been an electrifying alley-oop pass to Parks. But he committed the foul, at least according to the official. And so Parks will go back to the line.
First free throw is good. That ends a little mini dry spell for St. Marys Memorial. Parks now with 9 of the team's 16. And he is now in double figures with 10. He joins Brandon Rose of the Gilmour Academy. Each has 10 to lead their teams. 22-17, a 5-point difference with 3:27 left now in the first half.
Well, and despite the hot start by the Gilmour Academy, St. Mary's has hung around.
Parks just rejected that last shot by Mueller, who isn't used to seeing somebody come out of nowhere to swat that ball away like that.
Well, and then the threes that were also falling with regularity in the first quarter, that one rimmed out.
Here comes Flowers. And a reach-in foul is going to go against St. Mary's, and you can count the bucket. Kyle Steininger will be whistled for the foul. Good look right there at Dorjan Flowers. He is a junior, and he connects on his free throw. He's got 3 points. 25-17, lead back up to 8 now for the Gilmour Academy, and the Lancers back to full court pressure. And they make it work. That time, Jace Turner just didn't seem confident with what he wanted to do with the basketball. Flowers goes baseline, kicks it out to Mueller.
Nice extra
Rose.
pass.
Very nice job of working the ball around the perimeter, and off comes Braden Sullivan.
Addison Moulton with the foul.
16 fouls now against the Gilmour Academy, so the next one will put St. Marys Memorial at the free throw line for the rest of the half. Couple of substitutions for the Gilmour Academy as they get some fresh faces in there. Lucas Grover is in there. This is Steininger. Down low to Parks. He'll work against Flaherty. And the kick-out pass finds nobody home. That ball was not tipped either, so good call by the officiating crew, and it will come this way in favor of the Lancers.
Last few possessions, Gilmour Academy has done a nice job of pushing him off the block. He is not comfortable. He's a good passer from out there, but it takes away the threat of him offensively finishing around the basket.
Flowers to Rose. Bingo.
It's a very confident shooting basketball team is the Gilmour Academy. Rose now with 13.
He's got 3 threes. The team has 2, 4, 6, 7 threes here in the first half. And that's really the difference of the ball games. 11-point difference, in the threes are 7-1.
Well, and they're back to that higher percentage again. They're at 64% with 1:40 to go before halftime. They are living and dying by the three, and so far, it's an 11-point lead for them.
I was talking with someone earlier this afternoon who had covered St. Mary's a couple of times before, and they said teams have had a lot of success with pressing them because they don't have any true point guard or any true ball handler on this team. So far, that's kind of proving to be true. St. Mary's struggling with getting the ball, especially against this full court pressure from the Lancers.
Yeah, you look at the size on this roster and how tall they are, that front line, 6'10", 6'6", and 6'6". But you're right, they don't have that true point guard to just kind of settle things down, run the offense, and get through any kind of pressure.
Minute 39 left to play here in the first half from the Stroh Center. Bowling Green State University, the winner, will go to the state semifinals next week, Friday, at the University of Dayton. And another turnover against the Roughriders. They now have 5 here in the first half.
That one also of the unforced variety, which as you get deeper and deeper into these big games, the self-inflicted wounds you can't make.
Out on top, this is Dorjan Flowers penetrating. And that should be a charge. Yep, good call by the official. Right there was Sullivan to take the charge for the Roughriders. He set up nicely. That was a pretty easy call.
The defensive coach in me just smiled when I see guys step in and put their bodies at risk to take a charge like that. And that it gets called. It doesn't always get called.
Well, and a lot of times they want to start to fall before the contact is made, and the officials do want to see that contact. Inside of a minute now, 28-17, big trip for the Roughriders, who probably would like to get the last shot of the half, but they're going to take one, and they will miss. And now the Lancers will have an opportunity to extend the lead before halftime. They already lead by 11. Flowers stopped out front, picked up his dribble. And it looks like they will play for the last shot now. knowing that they will indeed have a double-digit lead going into the locker room. Mueller will dump it off to Newtbar. Flaherty kicks it out top. Flowers. 10 seconds. We'll start to see the offense really go into quicker motion now. Rose to Flowers. Wanted to get it inside to Mueller, but there was Parks to swat it out of bounds with 0.2 seconds left. So all they can do now is tip it in.
Well, when you have this kind of a front line, this really lends itself to a pretty good wall to go up against. They're not even going to try to lob it inside.
Shot won't fall, and we've reached the end of the first half. Gilmour Academy out of the Cleveland area. 11 points better than the Roughriders of St Marys Memorial. It's 28-17 at the half.
Hi, I'm Always Report founder Brian Skoronsky, and you've just enjoyed first half action live and free exclusively right here on the OH Report. But stick around, still plenty more to come right here as our boys high school basketball returns after this.
It's Freedom Fest Ohio, featuring Justin Moore,
You look like I need a drink right now.
Crowder,
God almighty, I hope you'll find
Rodney Atkins,
makes me wanna take a back road.
Austin French, and more. Friday and Saturday, July 1st and 2nd, Morrow County Fairgrounds in Mount Gilead, Ohio. For tickets and more info, visit freedomfestohio.com.
Nervous?
Oh, Blaze. Brings back so many good memories.
Remember our road trip in '97?
Our first real heart-to-heart.
I've never seen any of your movies. Not even the ones we were together.
Hey, do you remember when that stalker kidnapped us?
Yes.
Blaze was there.
Blaze. Do you have barbecue or cheddar jalapeno?
Ooh. Oh, remember when we stumbled into that turf war? Remember when you bought your first house?
Hi, I'm Seth.
Those were good times.
They were golden.
You ready? Seth, do you?
I do.
And Janet, do you?
That's a yes.
I love this lady. Best day of my life.
Albert Sporting Goods is here to outfit your team, both on and off the field. Since 1980, Albert Sporting Goods has serviced schools, clubs, and businesses throughout Ohio. For all of your uniform, spirit wear, and equipment needs, make it Albert Sporting Goods. Order online now at albertsportinggoods.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
It's halftime at the regional championship here at the Stroh Center in Bowling Green. And so far, the Roughriders of St. Mary's having a tough time against the Lancers of the Gilmour Academy, trailing by 11, 28-17. Lynn Passett, Brian Harder along with you from the Stroh Center. And statistically, the one stat that jumped out at me when I was looking at things, points off of turnovers, 13-3 in favor of the Gilmour Academy. That's a 10-point difference, and we have an 11-point difference in the ball game.
Well, that, and they're also still shooting a blistering 64% from the three-point line. They cooled off a little bit in the second quarter, only going 2 of 5, but in the first quarter they were 5 out of 6. They're actually shooting better from the three-point line than they are from the free throw line, 63% to 60%. I mentioned in the first quarter I didn't know if they could maintain that pace, so I'm starting to second-guess myself now.
Gilmour being led here at halftime by their hot-shooting guard, Brandon Rose, who has 13 points to lead all scorers. Let's take a look at our stats here at halftime. Field goals, 9-5 in favor of the Lancers. And as we said, 7 of those 9 have been three-pointers. Pretty obvious St. Mary's is going to have to either extend that zone or just flat out come out of it and try and get a hand in the face.
Well, and it's going to be interesting to see how long they stay with that, because that has been their bread and butter. And you have those big guys that are used to playing zone. Having them come out and match up and play man could be a bit of a challenge for them, and it'll be interesting to see how long they go. I don't know if the defensive end really has been the problem. It was offense in the second quarter for St. Mary's where they struggled. They only scored 5 points. They were getting some decent looks from other people, but Gilmour Academy did a nice job of pushing Austin Parks off the block. He was delivering some nice passes. There were a couple missed layups. Those are things that you cannot afford to do when you're playing in a game of this magnitude. You've got to make those easy shots when you have those opportunities. And Austin Parks has to do a better job of establishing himself on the block and not giving up that position, because when they started the game and they were getting the ball inside to him, he was able to finish around the basket.
He definitely was. Now when we look at the individual scoring, as we said, Brandon Rose leads all scorers for the Gilmour Academy with 13. Also for Gilmour, 7 for Addissa Moulton, 6 for Ryan Mueller, who averages 17 a ball game. They've done a good job defensively on him. And 3 for Dorjan Flowers. When you look at St. Mary's, they're being led, of course, by the 6'9 junior Austin Parks, who has 10. Also 3 for Gavin Reinecke off of a three-pointer, 3 for Brandon Sullivan off of a three-pointer, and 2 for Jace Turner. So they really definitely have to try and figure out some way of stopping the three-point shooting from the Gilmour Academy.
Brandon Rose 4 for 4 by himself from the three-point line, and he has been getting good looks. They did a good job out of that first time out of coming out and contesting the shooters a little bit more, but then they actually started hit a couple more in the second quarter. I'll be interested to see, again, I said this before, if that pace continues in the third quarter.
Have to make sure that we put the head coaches of all sports, on the alert, because Albert Sporting Goods of St. Mary's has got a great promotion going on right now. If you reach out to Albert Sporting Goods and you decide that you would want to furnish your entire team roster through them, they are going to automatically, right off the top, give you a $100 credit just by mentioning that you heard this ad on the OH Report.
I just noticed I have a piece of the championship net from the first game of this doubleheader right here in my hands. This could end up going on eBay and putting one of my kids through college.
Very, very possible in this day and age, yes.
Oh, no.
There's a fight going on for that piece of twine right now. Well, it is halftime, 28-17. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with third quarter action here from the Stroh Center at Bowling Green State University Regional Championship. St. Marys Memorial trails by 11. Lynn Bassett, Brian Harder along with you for this Division II Regional Championship contest. The Roughriders of St. Marys Memorial with the basketball to start the second half, and this is Austin Parks working against Mueller. The two studs from each team, man on man, and it's Parks winning that one as he will sink his first bucket of the second half. He's got 12. The lead is down to 9.
Not surprised to see they go to him on the first possession of the third quarter, try to get him going a little bit more, scoring at the offensive end instead of facilitating.
Rose to Flowers out top. They've been quite a tandem in that first half. Mueller very quiet. He averages 17 points a ball game, and there's a turnover right away against the Gilmour Academy. They only had 4 in that first half. Full court pressure. And this is what we talked about earlier. St. Marys Memorial sometimes will struggle because they just don't have that true point guard to lead the team. And here, Parks has a hard time maintaining control himself. And that was a real critical trip down the floor. If they could have gotten another one there to cut the lead to 7, it would have been huge.
Earlier in the first half, he had a possession where he tried to put the ball on the floor like that, and it was almost the same result. He just does not look comfortable when he has to put the ball on the floor.
He's got some things to definitely work on before transitioning to Columbus. Ball handling and ball strength, and of course shooting the ball from about 15 feet when facing up and squaring the basket would be another. Gilmour Academy striking to extend the lead back up to 11, which it was at halftime. Sullivan gets it off to Parks. Driving and scoring. Nice move by Evan Angstman. His first field goal of the ball game, and they kind of need him to get involved. They need somebody else to step up.
Yeah, good-looking sophomore.
Fans wanted to travel right there, didn't get it, and the Gilmour Academy will get a bucket from Flowers. Or make that Rose, I'm sorry. Brandon Rose with 15 now to lead all scorers. Down low to Parks, and foul's going to go against Ryan Mueller. That'll be his second.
It's been pretty physical, really, all game long. They finally whistle Mueller for the foul. I didn't know if that was any more of a foul than any of the other contact on Parks.
Mueller doesn't look a true 6'7". He looks more 6'6", and I think possibly Parks might be closer to 6'10" than he is 6'9", because there's quite a good 4-inch difference between those two. Three-pointer out top, in and out for St. Marys Memorial, but a strong, aggressive rebound and another foul, and this might be on Mueller, and if so, it's his third. Nope, they got someone else. They got Nathan Newtbar.
That was a nice job. Before the offensive rebound, they triple-teamed Parks on the block, and he did a nice job of finding the open guy.
Nice footwork that time by Parks. He's got 14, and the lead is down to 9 again at 32-23. But don't blink because the Lancers pushed the ball down the floor so quickly. Newtbar out top. Gets it off to Rose, and he'll reset. Flowers on the wing. St. Marys Memorial has gone man-to-man. They've dumped the zone, which I kind of thought they may have to. And another steal now by St. Marys Memorial. Here comes Angstman, and he's stripped. Rose will be a thief and take it away. And he'll put it up off glass and score. Rose with 17 now to lead all scorers. Back up to an 11-point lead for the Lancers. And now Mueller will get his third foul of the afternoon.
Well, as we get deeper into this ball game, they cannot afford to have a guy like Mueller off the floor for very long.
He comes off standing 6'7", and on his replacement is now 6'2". So they give up a lot of height with that replacement.
And they go right into Parks off of the inbound.
And he's going to go right to work if he can, but instead Wow, we have a big crash out at the three-point line, and Brandon Sullivan took the worst of wear for St. Mary's Memorial, but the ball will stay in the Rough Riders' possession. Another steal. St. Mary's not taking good control of the basketball, and an easy lay-in, and Rose is the beneficiary again. He's got 19.
Well, that was a lazy pass by Parks, excuse me. He'd like to have that one back.
Hanksman kicks it down low. Back out on top, three-point shot, nowhere near for Reineke, and the ball will be turned over again to the Gilmour Academy. And slowly but surely, you kind of feel like this one's getting away from St. Mary's.
Yeah, down by 13, under 4 minutes to go in the third. They need to be able to take advantage of Mueller being on the bench.
Somebody needs to find Rose and prevent him from scoring. He's got 19 of the team's 36. Early on it was by threes. Now he's been doing it with the two ball. And there is Newtbar. And now the lead is 15, the largest lead of the ball game for the Gilmour Academy. And the Lancer fans, those that did make the trip from Lower Cleveland, are starting to make some noise and starting to feel it.
Nice cut inside and unable to finish. How many times have we seen that?
How many paint shots have been missed by the Rough Riders? Rose out top, working against his man Steininger. Nice cut by Rose, and he'll dunk it. The two-hand flush is there for Rose.
I figured we'd see a few dunks tonight. I did not think the first one would come from that side of the floor.
Rose now with 21. Well, they're showing him with 19 on the scoreboard. I've got him with 21. Parks goes up, is stripped, and now a foul is called. As up for the shot was Jace Turner, and he's hit on the wrist. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
That fan out there is stunned. She cannot believe the call. The fans that are here are into the game. It is loud.
First points of the second half for Turner. He's got 3 on the evening. Rough Riders having their better quarter this time around. They only scored 5 in the second quarter. They've now scored 8 this quarter. And now a timeout being asked for by head coach Dan Hegemeyer of St. Mary's. Rough Riders find themselves down by 15. I have to say I was very agreeable with his decision. I got to get out of this zone because they're just shooting it lights out from three-point range. I got to do something different, but now the turnovers are really starting to cost them again.
Right. And now they have to figure out, they continue to struggle at the offensive end of the floor. If it doesn't happen with Parks, they have got to find guys, one, that are going to hit some open shots when he feeds them on cuts, and two, they have to have somebody else to take that offensive pressure off of him. And they just haven't had that consistent scorer step up and give Gilmour Academy somebody else to think about defensively.
Again, we'd like to thank tonight's sponsor, Albert's Sporting Goods of St. Mary's. If you mention the OH Report and you are a coach, you will automatically get a $100 credit if you decide to purchase your entire team's uniforms from Albert Sporting Goods in St. Mary's. We thank them for their support of Rough Rider basketball here in the 2021-22 season. Lancers basketball now. 2.5 minutes remaining third quarter. They're up by 15 and looking for more. And this is Flowers in the backcourt. Working against Steininger. Newtbar dumps it off to Grover. Some new faces in there for the Lancers, and now we have a foul called against St. Mary's Memorial. Looks like Sullivan.
Newtbar has actually done a pretty good job replacing Mueller defensively against Parks. He's hit a shot at the offensive end.
Well, he stands 6'7", so he's got some height as well. And here's a jumper off the rim. Rebound comes back out.
Now, this is a small lineup on the floor for St. Mary's, so perhaps Dan Hegemer just trying to go with a little bit more quickness on the floor right now, but he gives up a lot of size.
First foul is going to be called against Parks. Austin with 14 points tonight. He had 10 at halftime. He averages 20 points, 9 rebounds per ball game. Flowers now connects again. Make that Rose, I'm sorry. Full court pressure being applied again now by the Lancers. Rider fans haven't had much to make noise about here in the second half. They had a little bit of a run to get it to 9. Corner jumper way off the mark. And again, Flowers steals it and goes coast to coast and puts it up and in. And he is a one-man wrecking crew right now defensively. 25 now for Rose. Parks can't get the jumper to fall, and the wheels are starting to fall off the wagon now for the Rough Riders. Pass goes ahead, and an easy lay-in by Lucas Grover. And Coach Dan Hegemeyer is trying to get to the end of the quarter without burning another timeout, but he finds himself down by 21, and that foul will go against Grover, the 6'2" senior.
Only an 8-point quarter as St. Mary's continues to struggle at the offensive end.
Yeah, they scored 12 in the first quarter. That was their best quarter by far. Only 5 in the second quarter, and now 8 here. Offensively, that's not going to get it done. Pressure being applied and a foul called on Kyle Steininger. He got crossed over that time by Dorjan Flowers. Moulton back in now for the Gilmour Academy. 37 seconds left now here in the first, and make that the third quarter. Most likely going to play for the last shot.
Evan Enksman up off the bench for St. Mary's, give them a little bit more size as he will come back in on the next dead ball. But by the time he comes back in, the score could be doubled.
Tell you what, when your fourth guy off the bench is swishing three-pointers as well, you know you're in trouble. Long three, well off the mark, barely drew iron that time for Steininger, and the wheels are just falling off, and now we've got a wide open lay-in at the buzzer for Newtbar, and the lead is now extended to 51-25 at the end of 3.
Albert Sporting Goods is here to outfit your team, both on and off the field. Since 1980, Albert Sporting Goods has serviced schools, clubs, and businesses throughout Ohio. For all of your uniform, spirit wear, and equipment needs, make it Albert Sporting Goods. Order online now at albertsportinggoods.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Final 8 minutes here at the Stroh Center, campus of Bowling Green State University. Boys Regional Championship Division II. Gilmour Academy leading St. Marys Memorial 51-25 at the end of 3 quarters. And this young man, Brandon Rose, has as many points as St. Marys as a team. Both have 25.
A 23-8 quarter in the third for Gilmour Academy as they are starting to make some plans to travel to Dayton next weekend.
That trip won't be any shorter than this one, that's for sure. But they'll gladly take that bus ride. Flowers will hold things up. We were talking at the break there of the quarter. Gilmour Academy still shooting over 60% from three-point range. They may finish there because I doubt that they're going to take any more three-pointers. If so, not very many. But, man, they have been stroking it from behind the arc.
Haven't been forcing shots. They've taken what the defense has given them. They've just been able to knock them down. But St. Marys needs to knock a few down of their own if they want to get back in this.
There's an open jumper, and it's connected by Gavin Reineke. He's got 5 points on the night, 53-27. Little handsy on the far side. Foul's going to be called against Kyle Steininger.
Here's a good look at Dan DeCrane, the fourth-year head coach. Lancers are 65-30 under DeCrane.
And back-to-back trips to the Elite Eight. Mueller can't get it to fall, but he'll get the rebound, and he'll go to the free throw line shooting 2.
Mueller has not had the kind of game that they're used to seeing him have, but they really haven't needed him.
He's a 74% free throw shooter on the season. Missed the first, but got the second. Only 6 points for Mueller tonight. Timeout on the floor. 6:32 remaining in the ball game, and it looks like the Gilmour Academy will be punching a ticket to the state semifinals, and they'll be playing next Friday down at Dayton.
Playing either the Heath or Waverly winner. That game is set to tip off at 8:30. So an opportunity for the Gilmour Academy to get back into the state tournament. They lost in the 1992 state championship game to Berlin Highlands. 74-71 was the final in that one, and it's been a long dry spell. And as I look at this team and the way that it's composed, do you think they have what it takes to win a state title?
Absolutely. They've got quickness. If they can shoot like this, shooting is everything. And if you can make threes at the rate that they're cashing in tonight, they've got a nice bit of size down low. They can definitely stay with anybody they're going to be put in front of. Full court pressure now by the Lancers against the Roughriders. Sure, Coach Hegemeyer has said, guys, we're not going to get this thing by hitting a 10-point shot or a 20-point shot. We've just got to find ourselves some open looks and start knocking them down, and they still are not able to do it.
Well, that's the key, the start knocking them down part.
29% from the floor, 14% from three-point range. That's just not going to win you ball games.
Gilmour Academy now can afford to be very patient at the offensive end and eat up a little bit of clock.
Flowers working out front against Reineke, and he'll take him to the hole and lose control, and then a timeout taken by Gilmour Academy. Another reminder for you, today's game being brought to you by Albert Sporting Goods in St. Marys. Now, if you're a coach of any team, heads up, mention the OH report to Albert Sporting Goods, and they will automatically give you a $100 credit, and that will go toward your entire team's uniforms. If you buy all of your uniforms, not just one or two, no replacements, but the whole cabango, and you'll have a $100 credit coming to you automatically. We'd like to say thanks to Albert Sporting Goods down in St. Marys as they bring you this afternoon's action here from Bowling Green.
I made mention earlier of Paul Dolan, the CEO of the Indians, being a graduate of the Gilmour Academy. And as a Browns fan, it pains me to say this, but Art Rooney II, the president of the Steelers, is also a graduate of the Gilmour Academy.
Lancers right now have the Riders kind of playing chase. And right there, we might even have, I thought maybe I saw blood on the uniform, but it looks like they have a little logo on their left shoulder, so that was not blood, it's just a logo. He got a shot to the nose.
It has been a rough ride for the Rough Riders.
Flowers will take a quick seat, and back in comes Lucas Grover, the senior. I'm sure he doesn't mind getting some extra playing time in his last season. We mentioned in the onset, and there's Grover to lay it in. He's come off the bench. I'm sorry, that was Newtbar. We mentioned on the onset our first game at 1 o'clock, Ottawa Glandorf and Colonel Crawford. This place was packed to the gills. And now this ball game, you don't get too many people from the Gilmour Academy here this afternoon on that 2.5-hour drive from the Cleveland area to Bowling Green.
Parks with a nice jump hook in the lane and he's got 15 now on the night, but it's probably a little too late.
Nearly over and back, and it may be over and back. Yes, it is. He stepped on the center timeline. Turnovers are 10-7. 10 for the Rough Riders, 7 for the Lancers.
We talked about the Lancers getting to the 92 state title game. And the following year, St. Marys, they also made a trip to the Final Four. They lost to Columbus Whitehall. But both teams have had state tournament droughts ever since.
Parks actually squares up, faces the hoop, takes about a 13-foot jumper. He's off the mark, and then at the other end, the bucket is laid in by guess who? Brandon Rose.
I've really been impressed with Brandon Rose, who is now at the doorstep of 30. He's got 29.
He's done it from three-point range. He's done it from outside of the key. He's done it off steals, and here he does it on a rebound, and now he's going to take it. Rose stopped. Well, a little break there for the OH report as the power strip got shut off, but we are back.
Well, and as you correctly mentioned, that's the only way that Brandon Rose has been stopped is a power outage.
Yep, he has been Superman here tonight. 29 points. 58-31 is our score, as St. Marys did get a bucket while we were off by Gavin Reinecke. And now Mueller gets the two-hand flush.
Little exclamation point on the performance by the Lancers this afternoon, and they try to answer at the other end of St. Marys, and pass was very high, and timeout taken.
This will be a mini timeout as head coach Dan Hagemeyer just wants to make some substitutions, but looks like the officials are going to say, nope, you're going to get a full one anyhow, whether you want it or not. So we've got a timeout in the action here, and we'll just kind of quickly talk about what has transpired here this week at Bowling Green State University. We saw Tiffin Calvert knock off Ottoville to get to the regional championship game, and then they were absolutely stunned in the regional championship game, losing by 21 to Antwerp. I don't think anybody saw that one coming. Then earlier today, we saw Ottawa Glandorf punch a ticket to the state semifinals, knocking off a good Colonel Crawford team that it was unfortunate that the Eagles fell behind by double digits and had to start crawling back into that ball game. They made a nice run to get it down to, I think, 5 at one point, maybe even 3, but they just kind of ran out of gas.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the defense of Ottawa Glandorf, and they took a team in Colonel Crawford that has Carter Valentine and Mason Studer and just really took them out of what they like to do offensively, especially Studer in the first half. And Ottawa Glandorf was as advertised.
They are a perennial power in high school basketball, and they've been to this venue and to this stage so many times. Nothing really makes them blink, where the Eagles just aren't used to this environment, and I think maybe that played a little bit of the early jitters and getting themselves their feet. But they made that run, and I thought maybe they had a shot at repeating what they did against Western Reserve, but good teams like Ottawa Glandorf are going to find ways of winning.
Well, they did, but they got over one hurdle this year. They won their first regional game in the school's history. So our hats off to Dave Sheldon and the Colonel Crawford Eagles.
And here we're down to the final minute 45, and it looks like the Gilmour Academy is going to make the St. Marys Roughriders play chase the ball. Lob pass for Mueller, and he's got it again. He averages 17 a ball game. He just now got to double figures at 10.
Thought he's going to try to throw that one down again.
Getting close to a running clock in the regional championship. 62-31, the Roughriders have been doubled up. Nice move that time by Andrew Moore. Puts it up and kisses it off the glass, and now another timeout, and this time they're going to allow them to just take the timeout to roll new faces into the lineup so that we can keep this game moving.
I think this is good. I think you give some of these other players an opportunity to get on this stage even for just a minute or so and kind of whet that appetite for what your program can do down the road. And
there's one of those new faces. Firing up a shot, won't fall, and here come the Roughriders with 1 minute to play in this ball game, and they trail 62-33. Great season for the Roughriders, despite falling here this afternoon, as they have advanced to a point that probably not many thought they had a shot at when you finish the regular season at 15-7. Not too many people are going to give you a chance of moving on to the regionals.
No, they brought a 7-game winning streak into this, and they peaked at the right time, is what you say in the basketball world. And in the tournament, they got wins over Salina, Wauseon, Napoleon, and Huron. So they beat some good basketball teams, and they just ran into a buzzsaw here today against the Gilmour Academy.
Andrew Moore with his second straight field goal to finish things off for St. Marys. 62-35. The clock says 3:43. I'm not sure what that's about, but we have 13 seconds remaining in the ball game, and we're glad for it. And this will do it. The Gilmour Academy will improve to 22-5 on the season. Head coach Dan DeCrane and his Lancers will move now to the state's semifinals in Dayton. We will wrap things up from here in Bowling Green, our final 62-35.
Freedom Fest, Ohio, featuring Justin Moore,
You look like I need a drink right now.
Crowder,
God Almighty, I hope you'll find
Rodney Atkins,
makes me wanna take a back road.
Austin French, and more. Friday and Saturday, July 1st and 2nd, Morrow County Fairgrounds in Mount Gilead, Ohio. For tickets and more info, visit freedomfestohio.com.
Nervous?
Oh, Lay's. Brings back so many good memories.
Remember our road trip in '97?
Our first real heart-to-heart.
I've never seen any of your movies. Not even the ones we're in together.
Hey, do you remember when that stalker kidnapped us?
Yes.
Lays was there.
Lays. Do you have barbecue or cheddar jalapeno?
Ooh. Oh, remember when we stumbled into that turf war? Remember when you bought your first house?
Hi, I'm Seth.
Those were good times.
They were golden.
You ready?
Seth, do you?
I do.
And Janet, do you?
That's a yes.
I love this lady.
Albert Sporting Goods is here to outfit your team, both on and off the field. Since 1980, Albert Sporting Goods has serviced schools, clubs, and businesses throughout Ohio. For all of your uniform, spirit wear, and equipment needs, make it Albert Sporting Goods. Order online now at albertsportinggoods.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Back at the Stroh Center, campus of Bowling Green State University and the Gilmour Academy Lancers getting their state regional championship trophy as they move to 22-5 on the season. And individually, they were led by Brandon Rose with 26 points. And what a 26 points that was. It included 3 three-pointers, all coming in the first half. And they were just on a shooting barrage all night from three-point range.
Yeah, Brandon Rose really set the tone, and they really set the tone offensively in the first quarter when they sprinted out and shot very well from the three-point line. And St. Mary's was just never really able to recover. They were 5 of 6 from behind the three-point line was the Gilmour Academy in the first quarter. And they just, then as the second half went along, they just really turned up the heat defensively, and St. Mary's never really made it a game. About midway in the third quarter.
Rose only averaged 13 points a ball game. He doubled that up this afternoon by scoring 26. Meanwhile, their big gun, Ryan Mueller, who averages 17 a ball game, only had 10 today. So they did a nice job of bottling him up, but nobody probably expected Rose to just light things up outside.
Well, Mueller also had the defensive responsibility of Austin Parks, and he did a pretty good job on Parks. He was able to be physical with him, push him away from the block. He never allowed him to get comfortable. And what Parks has been able to do most of the season when he has not been able to finish and score is distribute the basketball. And they gave up a lot of easy looks tonight because they just couldn't convert layups in that first half especially. And by the time it got into the third quarter, it was a lot of frustration at the offensive end for St. Marys.
I'm sure the Roughriders will not really want to go back and look at the game tape, but when they do, they're going to be shaking their heads and kicking themselves for all of the easy lay-ins and putbacks that just didn't fall for them. Leading the way for the Roughriders tonight, Austin Parks with 16. He averages 20 a ball game. Also 7 for Gavin Reineke and 4 for Andrew Moore, 3 for Jace Turner, and 3 for Braden Sullivan. When we look at the final stats, this is kind of what we see. And field goals were doubled up by the Gilmour Academy as they had 24 field goals to the 12 for St. Marys tonight. So it all kind of started, though, in my opinion, with the rebounding advantage, along with the turnover advantage and the three-point shooting advantage. It was kind of a three-headed monster tonight for the Gilmour Academy.
Right, and no matter how you slice it up, it was just a dominating performance. The best team is leaving Bowling Green and heading to Dayton, and it will be interesting to see how they square off against either the Heath or Waverly winner. That game is wrapping up right now. The last I heard, Waverly had taken the lead in the fourth quarter, but we don't have a final on that yet.
Well, it's sad to see a season end, especially when you get thumped like this, 62-35. But all in all, you have to be pretty happy if you're the Roughriders, because you came in third in the WBL, but then you went on this 7-game winning streak at the end of the season, and you get all the way to within a game of the Final Four. A lot of teams would love to have that situation.
Well, they still have a regional runner-up trophy to take home with them to St. Marys. And when you look at this team next year, you're still going to have Austin Parks. You're still going to have the two big 6'6" sophomores coming back. So there are going to be pieces for them to build around, and they have a veteran head coach that can mold this team next year. It would not shock me to see him back here next year with this team.
And as for the WBL, they would have loved to have sent 2 teams down to, not Columbus, but Dayton this year, but it just didn't happen. The Roughriders are eliminated 62-35. We'd like to say thanks to our sponsor, Albert Sporting Goods out of St. Marys. Once again, like to remind you, if you are a head coach, you can mention the OH report, and just by doing so, they will give you a $100 credit toward all of your team's uniforms. So keep that in mind and make sure you tell them the OH report and you thank them for sponsoring our telecast here today, live stream. We are going to take one final break, and then we'll be back to wrap things up. Our MVP of the evening will be distributed to you as well. We've got a lot still to come here on the OH Report, live and free from Bowling Green.
Freedom Fest, Ohio, featuring Justin Moore,
You look like I need a drink right now.
Crowder,
God Almighty, I hope you'll find
Rodney Atkins,
makes me wanna take a back road.
Austin French, and more.
Somebody else.
Friday and Saturday, July 1st and 2nd, Morrow County Fairgrounds in Mount Gilead, Ohio. For tickets and more info, visit freedomfestohio.com.
Nervous?
Oh, Lays. Brings back so many good memories.
Remember our road trip in '97?
Our first real heart-to-heart.
I've never seen any of your movies! Not even the ones we're in together! Hey, do you remember when that stalker kidnapped us?
Yes.
Lays was there.
Lays.
Do you have barbecue or cheddar jalapeno?
Ooh. Oh, remember when we stumbled into that turf war? Remember when you bought your first house?
Hi, I'm Seth!
Those are good times.
They were golden.
You ready? Seth, do you?
I do.
And Janet, do you?
That's a yes.
I love this lady! Best day of my life!
Albert Sporting.
Back at the Stroh Center in Bowling Green, the post-game press conference is underway. Let's go to the press conference room. Head coach Dan Hegemeyer is there.
Great job in getting to the regional finals. It hurts bad, but I thought we've had a great year. From where we at the first of the year, we were 5-6, and we finished 18-8. So I'm very proud of our kids. Very, very proud of them.
Gavin, let's talk about this. It's been almost 30 years since St. Marys has been this far. Talk about being a part of this and helping this team get to the regional final for the first time in 1993.
Yeah, it's a huge achievement for me and my team. I mean, I'm just grateful to be a part of the regional finals. I mean, not many kids can say that they made it to the regional finals, so I'm grateful for every opportunity I got. So.
What do you think changed in the game after the first quarter? You know, Austin had a lot of opportunities in that first quarter of scoring.
They didn't drop, and you know, he's been dropping those. You know, ever since the first year, his game has been really, really good. They didn't drop. Sometimes our passing on the opposite side of the floor wasn't really there, and we had a lot of the guys were standing around instead of cutting and diving to the gaps. So, yeah, just one of those bad games that we played. But again, you got to give Gilmour all the credit. You know, they did a great job.
Did you expect that out of the Rose kid? I don't know.
Yeah, he's a nice player. He's a nice player. Everybody that I talked to, oh yeah. Whatever we saw, we were really afraid of them dribble penetration into the lane, and we were also very afraid of them shooting those threes in the corner. We wanted to get out on them, and we tried to get out of them. But when you start a game 6 for 7, their confidence level grows, and ours kind of took a dive.
How important was it for you to get those seniors on the court together?
Very important for me, yeah. You know, they all deserve that.
Game plan kind of like a key in on the Mueller kid because he is their leading scorer, and you feel like that kind of opened things up for Rose.
What I saw out there looked like they were all the leading scorers. See, they did a great job. They played good team basketball. When they had an open look, they got it and they dropped it. So I give them all the credit in the world. Anything else, guys? You want to say anything, Austin, or not?
No, I'm good. Just
okay.
Happy to be a part of the team.
All right. Thanks, guys.
So that was head coach Dan Hegemeyer of the St. Marys Roughriders as he was at the podium along with Gavin Reineke and Austin Parks in the media press conference area. And now out here in the arena, we're seeing the winning Lancers getting their post-game photos being taken as they've chopped down the nets. And an exciting time for young men who have an opportunity now to head to Dayton in just a week. And anything can happen once you get there.
Well, anything can happen. That's just, you know, you look at, we've seen teams go into the tournament with records that you wonder how they make the runs that they do, but these teams are an example of you have to play the games, and that's why they play the games, and just getting there, anything can happen. And you go into every season with optimism, but especially when you're a program like Gilmour Academy and what Dan Ducrane is trying to do there and trying to establish, and so far he has done a very good job, and he'd like to wrap this up with a very successful run in Dayton.
Speaking of Dan DeCrane, he is now at the podium. Let's go to the press conference.
This was a dream come true, and it's been that way so far. This has been an awesome ride. I think the good Lord, He's blessed me with so many great things in my life, including my wife, who I also want to thank first. And sorry I'm using this space to do that, because I have 4 kids under 8, and she's a single mother for the 6 months of the basketball year. So I want to make sure I get that out there, because it's really important what she does for me. Our kids just came in with a no excuse, chip on our shoulder attitude since really the tournament draw. I remember getting on them at halftime of our Lake Catholic game. We were down 22-15 against a 2-3 zone and just not showing what we were capable of. That was the last week of the season. And our kids just turned it up ever since. Everyone picked Buchtel over us. We beat Buchtel. Everyone picked TCC over us. We beat TCC. And this was a very talented St. Marys team that they've lost one time in the last 15 games until today. They're huge, they're long, and our kids came out there ready to just take it to them. That was the mentality we wanted to have. And we shot the lights out in the first quarter. They got out of their zone, and we knew the tempo of the game was really what we wanted. We wanted an up and down game. We wanted an open floor for our guards to find our bigs running the floor. And then once they kind of collapsed, we were able to kick it out, and our guys, we've been shooting it really well. We're playing a lot of confidence. And it's a good feeling. I thought I'd be more emotionally happy, but I know we still have unfinished business, and that's because of how our guys play. There's never a moment, I'm going to coach them hard if we're up 29 and not handling the pressure. There's never a moment I was like, this is out of our control. And they had a great, that end of the first quarter, I thought, we could have really extended the lead, and then we missed one at the rim, and they got that 3 off, and I was like, okay, going into it, we're up 5 in the second, are they going to keep firing back? And our guys just, we kind of maintained water. Ryan got his second, Deesh got his second, and then we really had a good, strong close. We controlled the ball at the end of the quarter of the second, and we were up double digits at half. And our big quarter we want to win is the third. Statistically, if you win the first and third quarters of basketball games, like 80% of the time you win. And we wanted to make sure we won the third quarter. So we wiped the scoreboard at halftime and said we got to win this quarter, and we certainly did that. With that being said, I'll definitely take questions. He's been a maniac in the tournament. So I looked at the halftime sheet, and someone asked me what we were from the free throw line, and someone said we missed a couple. And I was like, yeah, Brandon, no, it says he's 4 for 4. And then I was like, no, that's wrong. He's 4 for 4 from the three-point line. And I don't think he's hit 4 threes in a game, let alone in a half, and he didn't miss. He's playing with a ton of confidence, as he should. I told him after the game he's playing like an all-state player. I mean, Buchtel couldn't stop him. TCC couldn't stop him. I question, is the zone going to slow him down? We're hitting +1 threes. He's driving at the rim. I mean, it was kind of his night when he lost handles on the last fast break layup, and it still somehow went in. But sometimes it's your night, and he's been playing phenomenally ever since the end of the season. We lost our last game. We lost to Walsh Jesuit on the road. They were 20-2. Or 19-2. Close game. We outplayed them in the fourth quarter, and I thought, we lost in the last 40 seconds, and I would have done things differently at the end of that game. But I thought, you know what? Guys like the two you're going to speak with in the moment, Brandon and Ryan, Deesh and Dory, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And he's played with a chip on his shoulder. He's a junior, and a lot of people are starting to look at him because of what he's doing.
How big was his role in last year's Elite 18?
Oh, well, talk about shooting. I mean, he works a lot on his shot. And if you would have saw him 2 years ago, I mean, not to give you like a basketball lesson, his hand was on the side of the ball, not under it. It took him a year and a half to get here. I mean, just watching him be shot ready. But going back to, I mean, it's one thing to shoot in practice, but it's another thing to shoot at the Stroh Center in the regional final. And both him and Ryan made those shots in the first half, and I kind of looked over and, their bench was kind of like, well, and I didn't think we were going to necessarily always do that, but the work these two put in, I mean, they invest so much in their game, and it's carried over. Our guys watch it, and they know how much they pour into it. And it's just, a year ago right now, we hung with St. Vincent St. Mary for 2.5, 3 quarters. I mean, they're a great team. Hopefully we can get them and get to the state final and play them. But their development physically, skill-wise, their growth, like I said, physically, but it's tremendous. It's all on them. Yeah, I mean, the shot he hit really propelled our team. You know, we upset Warrensville Heights in a huge game in the district semifinal in 2021. And, I mean, these guys just won back-to-back district titles for the first time in school history. This is our first regional title in 30 years ago to the season when we were Division IV, and we got into the state finals and lost to Berlin Highland. We had the assistant coach, Coach Tom Lombardo, who's the head football coach at St. Edward's. He's a Gilmour grad and a former assistant of that team. He talked today at Chapel for us and gave a great message, living those memories, and we want to keep those going this year.
Do you feel like your team played better when there was a chip on your shoulders, especially than last year? You were 10th seed in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
And then this year, I think you were third. So you feel like this team keeps overlooking steps up?
It's a great point. And honestly, we play a state caliber schedule. So Ignatius, who just won, we played them earlier in the year. They're in the Final Four. We should have beat Lutheran East. Nothing against them. We just kind of let it go at the end. They're likely going to the Final Four. So that gives us the seasoning, and that's great. The message was we're prepared for this game, but St. Mary's is a different chapter, right? It's a different style, a different team, well coached. So our guys now have seen it all. And being whatever seed we are, we don't care. You know, Bookdale has 5 scholarship players. Toledo Central Catholic playing in their home city pretty much with multiple scholarship players, back-to-back district title winners. Everyone kind of, of course that they're going to win. St. Mary's with the Parks kid going to Ohio State. Like I said, they won 13 out of 14. We don't care. We're ready to go. Fear nothing, respect everybody. That's what we kind of said.
How do you feel to be raising that bar compared to last year?
Oh, it's special. I mean, how many people don't get to do this? I didn't get to do this as a player. I mean, not to relive my days, but it took me. This is the first time I've ever been on a state championship thing in anything. It's just really special, and it's something that, you know, our younger guys, we got a lot of young players who are ready to go to next year, and it's awesome.
You look at that start, especially with the team like St. Mary's that lost to slow down the start 5 of 5 from 3. How did that start kind of just kick you guys into the next year to be able to keep putting up those points against their ones?
Great point, Ben. I mean, I didn't tell them this. I wanted to lead early. And I didn't think they'd get out of their zone as quickly as they did. Not that they should or shouldn't have, but I knew they were much better in 2-3-3-2 than they were in man. And then when they kind of came out, we scored 17, we hit 5 threes, and they're thinking, we can't keep doing this. We can't give Gilmour a 15-point lead. They don't have that comeback ability that maybe we do athletically. And we wanted to keep the tempo going and pressure them and get their guards to not, you know, I use the word get them off schedule. You know, kind of like when a defense in football is blitzing or showing zone and man coverage. We try to do that a lot to keep teams off pace, off balance. And we have a team that can really amend to different styles. We can play in the 40s if we want to. We just felt like we had the guard advantage, and I didn't want my guards bouncing the ball, walking it up, and running a zone set play for the whole game. And they didn't. And we did a little bit. We executed early. We got the lob to Ryan to start the game. We kind of saw something on film that we thought we could benefit from. And then from there, the shots fell in. And then all of a sudden, it's a 3-4 possession lead for Gilmour, and I felt they had to adjust.
Defensively, you guys are always aggressive on the ball, but with today, you guys forced 12 turnovers, and it was 7 in the first half. Talk about just that aggression on defense and that work to force them to, because they're not a team that can usually score a ton, but to force them to then have to kind of be keeping from, even though they're getting closer, cutting the lead to single digits, battling to just have those possessions where they can get shots.
So their offense goes through Parks, as it should, and it's all pass-based. They don't like to put the ball on the deck. They don't penetrate and pitch. They do a great job of 4-on-1, a couple screens to get high-low action, and throw it above head. It's all air passes. There's no bounce passes. So we wanted to make them undribble. That was the point, get under their shorts. And to start that, you can't let them lock up the ball and just wing entry everything. So we wanted to guard them, 90 feet. Not necessarily trap all the time, but just make them really work. And our guards had the athletic advantage. Dorian Flowers did a great job making number 4 for them kind of go sideways a little bit. And then all of a sudden Parks is catching the ball at the college volleyball line, and he can't get back into the his flow of posting up low. And then when he did try to post up Ryan and Nathan Newbar, I thought he was a little bit extended off the block for the most part. And he does a great job passing, and we actually wanted to take away the passing lanes. We kind of wanted to dare him to try to score 30 from 15 feet away. And, we weren't always perfect with that. I knew that was going to happen, and he's a great player. certainly has a bright future. But we wanted to just, everybody that we've seen on film in the 36 hours mad dash to this game plays behind and doubles. And he's great at finding guys, and they're comfortable that way. We just wanted to change up what they had to do in the half court and full court. Right?
It feels great. It's where we lost last year, and having the ability to be able to go down to Dayton this year really means a lot to everyone in the program and our school even. Even like our hockey team is playing for a state championship tonight. We want to be able to have that feeling. We do get to have that feeling, and we want to keep going.
Were those memories from last year playing in your mind as before you the game?
Kind of. It's just like we've been here before. We didn't get the outcome we wanted last year, so let's try again and let's win like we just did.
Ryan, what do you think it would be like playing for your student body again if it was all done? Columbus right
I think it would be a lot better. It sucks playing without just parents and against another rival student section, so being able to have our classmates, friends all there, just an amazing feeling being able to play in front of all of them.
How was it playing without them this past couple of games?
It's not the worst, but it's just the energy has to come from our team. That's the only source of energy we really have, and it kind of sometimes get diminished by opposing fans, student sections, etc. And just we have to be able to play our game and win that part.
You score for this game, I believe they lead rebounder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in like transitioning from this year, last year, can you describe your role as a leader to step up and the guy to help raise the bar for Gilmour basketball?
I think being able to be the leading rebounder shows how I've set that tone of I got to get every ball. I got to be able to help everyone and make sure that we can get out and run our game. We like to play fast, so being able to get out quickly and go is amazing. Even if they do score, grab it out of the hoop and throw and just get into transition as fast as possible.
What's it like leading this team on a day-to-day basis to try and just keep enhancing that status?
I can't say do it all myself. Everyone's a leader on our team. We all have individual roles that we all take upon, and just being able to come together and be a true team is what's all about with us.
Last year was a kind of a Cinderella run for you guys, a 10th seed in the tournament, and then now you're the 3rd seed. And Coach says that the team kept getting overlooked as you get further in the tournament. Do you feel like that chip on your shoulder has really helped you guys?
Yeah, I think definitely being overlooked and being a quote-unquote underdog really puts a chip on our shoulder to be like, people aren't expecting us to win this game. So let's prove everyone wrong and be able to pull out this win and do it and continue to go on this tournament.
Yeah, your teammate Rose over there scored a career high and he's second in scoring for this team, I believe. What's it like being him as a teammate? Is it like having the second option?
No, yeah, it's being able to go off. One of us don't have to score all of our points one night. We can go back and forth. We can go together. And when everyone's hitting shots, especially tonight, it's a great feeling to be able to go and just play our game and just score as many as we need to.
Tell me what he was like earlier, like last year, and how he developed as a player.
I think I developed as a player as being able to put in work. That's kind of what I've always done. Just being able to put in long hours, long days, and keep going to practice every day, expecting to get better, making my teammates better, and them making me better in the same process.
What about Brandon? Because I don't remember seeing him much in last year. What was it like watching him develop?
It's been crazy over this past year or whatever. Being able to compete with him, practice every single day in, day out, and seeing his growth as a player from attacking, shooting, ball handling, all of the above, seeing his growth is just amazing.
You look at the third quarter for a little while, you guys, it was better back and forth at the beginning, but then you guys started to go on. It started as a little bit of a neato run, but then it just kept building and building. I think you guys kept scoreless for the last 4 or 5 minutes or so. How about just the defense at that point and what you guys have run to not give them their best looks and force some low percentage shots?
I think being able to make their ball handlers dribble the ball and not being able to comfortably pass the ball just around when they need to, and stopping Parks was a big part of the game plan. And if he can't be able to score at will, and making them shoot those low percentage shots really helped us be able to then grab that rebound and go run while they like to play their game slow. So being able to beat them down the floor just really made it easier to go on those big runs.
Well, Parks is their big force that mode. You're the
I think being able to have Nathan down there and battle with Parks for most of the game really helped our team. One, he was doing a really good job doing it. And then with that, I can be able to go get rebounds off those left-handed shots and then be able to get out and run and then play our game from there.
No, I didn't. I just came in looking for the win, looking to play team basketball, and that's what we did tonight.
What was your role on last year's team?
Last year, it was, I wasn't the main option, which I'm okay with. I was just a defender, really hard role player, and I'm okay with that. But this year, my role had to be bigger. I took it upon myself to deliver for that, and I think I did that this year.
What was it like as you tried to develop into this player that's having a bigger role after Rodgers and Malcolm graduated, and you having to step up? What was that journey like for you?
Yeah, I talk to those guys like almost every day, so they keep giving me advice of how to do it, and they're great role models for me. Like I said, I talk to them every day, so with them in my ear, I just feel confident knowing that I can do it. They keep reassuring me I can do it, and my teammates keep telling me I can do it, my coaches. So it just feels good knowing that I have them in my corner, and the whole school in my corner. It just feels great knowing that.
Was Andre Rodgers kind of a guy you kind of try to play like on the court?
Yeah, since freshman year, me and Andre have been great friends. So yeah, I just try to be like him, and I think I'm taking on that role pretty well.
Obviously, big night for you. It was you and Ryan played the entire first half. Not seeing any time on the bench, even with it being up and down. You guys started just at that point pull away a little bit. What was it just like at halftime trying to know that they're going to try and keep attacking inside, and that you and Ryan probably can see the bench for a good bit until late in the third quarter?
Yeah, me and Ryan were talking in the locker room like we gotta keep our foot on the gas, and we even told our other guys like Deej, Dory, Flaherty, Newbar, Lucas. We were telling them that you gotta step up too, and they did. They did exactly that. So I'm proud of the team and how we kept on going, kept our foot on the gas, and it felt great to see the whole team step up like that.
What does it mean when you have a team like this just reload from last year and take that next step into the state tournament and become regional champs?
Yeah, so we lost at this game last year to St. V, and we're really looking forward to playing St. V hopefully in the state final. So we're just working towards our main goal, which is to make it to the state final, win the state final, and we're excited. We're going to work hard every day this week in practice, and we're going to meet our goal.
Did you play in that St. V game though?
I did.
You did? You remember your stat line at all?
I don't.
You don't? Well, that really says a lot about how much you developed this year, doesn't it?
It does. I think so, yeah.
Also, from a rebounding perspective, I keep harping on this point. You're, what, 6'4"?
6'3".
You're not a big guy. You talked about it yesterday, Thursday. What was it like just today to be able to, while still rebounding, be able to now focus also on the scoring side and have those 29 points to be able to carry this scoring run in the third, especially to be able to lift that team trophy at the end of the night?
Yeah, like I said Thursday, using my athleticism to grab rebounds and get open layups for me and my teammates, it feels great. And then we have Ryan, Newbar, Deesh, Dory. Everyone can rebound on our team, and that gives me a chance to run out, transition, get easy layups, and it's just great that we all can do everything on the court. That's what makes us a great team, and I love to see that about us.
And then on just a general note for Gilmour, these first two sports seasons have been amazing, I guess is the best way to say it. Girls volleyball goes and wins the state title for the second year in a row. Cross country gets both teams to districts. Girls finished fourth at state. Football has a really good run. Girls basketball goes to the district final. You guys are pushing. Is it just like everybody in the whole Gilmour sports group is just feeding off of each other and wanting to take those next steps to keep making people think Gilmour's not just a threat in volleyball and some other sports, but every single sport, Gilmour is a team you have to watch?
Yeah, volleyball set the tone early, and every sport after that wants to follow in their footsteps and raise the banner in the gym. So I guess that's our main goal, and we have a chance to bring one home to Gilmour Academy. So I'm excited for that.
Coach says this team gets overlooked a lot. Last year, 10th seed, this year was a 3rd seed, but what goal you guys were overlooked? Leave us
Yeah, we have a major chip on our shoulder. We felt like we should have got the 2 seed over Bookville at the start of the tournament, but we just put our head down, started the tournament, started working. We beat Bookville. Started with Shaw, beat Bookville, TCC, now St Marys Memorial. So we're just looking forward to the next game and keep having that chip on our shoulder.
St. Marys still in the tournament, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to play them. Yeah.
You want to anticipate a rematch?
Yeah, I see a rematch in the future. Thank you.
Well, the post-game press conference has now finally come to a conclusion. Good thing, because daylight savings time is about to kick in, and I was getting a little worried that I might have to set my clock at home after midnight.
Is that your way of saying that it ran over a little bit?
It was going a little while, wasn't it? Well, we are now joined here in the arena by our player of the game, and our player of the game is being brought to you by Albert Sporting Goods of St. Marys. Make sure you stop in and see them and mention the OH Report for a $100 credit if you are a coach toward your next uniform need. And our player of the game, Brandon Rose, 29 points today, and I guess it made the drive from Cleveland to Bowling Green well worth it. So talk a little bit about what you guys were game planning coming in. What was your focus?
Yeah, so they have a great big in Austin Parks coming into Ohio State. So we just wanted to pressure their guards and not let them get easy looks into him, and force him to catch the ball farther out off the block so he wouldn't catch it and score it. He's 6'10". So yeah, our game plan was just pressure the ball, get easy steals, easy layups, and then we did just that.
You guys were on fire from three-point range tonight. You yourself dumped 3 of them in the first half alone. Were you really feeling it out there as a team?
Yeah, my teammates found me open, and I just let it go. I felt good in warm-up, so I just decided to let it go, and it fell for me.
Well, we just received information you are going to be playing Waverly. They knocked out Heath in overtime, 46-45, so you now know who you're going to be playing. But I'm sure to you guys, you just wanted to get to Dayton and the UD Arena and make the Final Four.
Yeah, I'm excited to play. Our main goal was to make it to the state Final Four, and we have bigger dreams now to make it to win finals. So yeah, I'm excited to make it down there and show what we can do.
Well, you are on this camera right up here, so look in there and give a shout out to whoever you want that might be watching. We've got quite a few folks still watching up your neck of the woods.
I want to shout out my parents first for always supporting me through this journey, my coaches for believing in me, my teammates for finding me tonight, and let's go get a state championship.
Thank you very much for your time, Brandon Rose, our MVP, sponsored tonight by, of course, Albert Sporting Goods in St. Marys. Great job. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So St. Marys will finish up their season here in Bowling Green at 18-8. The Gilmour Academy will improve to 22-5, and as we mentioned, they will face Waverly, who knocked out Heath 46-45 in overtime at Ohio University. So that has to be an exciting barn burner over at OU country today.
Oh, yeah, a lot of good basketball played, and they're, like we said, the field is getting smaller, the games are getting bigger, so it'll be interesting to see how they do next week in Dayton.
Brian, a pleasure working with you for the first time, hopefully the first of many opportunities to work together.
Had a lot of fun, Lynn. Thank you.
All right. Well, that will do it from here in Bowling Green at the Stroh Center. They're slowly beginning to get everyone out of here, so I guess maybe we might want to do the same. Our thanks to Jory Holenbeck, who is our camera operator. She's giving you your fine shots here. And also Adam Thompson, our director, producer. Brian Skoronsky, who had the lower level camera during this game. And our thanks to Brian Harder as well. I'm Lynn Passett saying so long and good night, everyone, from Bowling Green, where our final score, the Gilmour Academy 62, St. Marys 35. You've been watching high school boys playoff tournament basketball live and free on the OH Report.